Big thing that happened was this incredibly innovative idea of taking over the building that is now the Museum of History and Industry, which was essentially a Navy building. Beautiful clocks. There probably were 6 or so of these clocks, and they transplanted that clock to show, history of Seattle. That anchors, if you will, the waterfront side of South Lake Union.
My favorite is the 2 tall, above-the-waist sculptures by the Brain Institute that you can actually walk into. I like them because it has all those languages. You have to really look. You can't just walk by. You have to stop. But it's the languages. I mean, it's the recognizable Farsi, and it's Hebrew, and it's English, and it's Greek, and, that's what's wonderful about it. And I like that you can touch it.
The building has kind of this undulating facade and then these slivers of orange on this, between the ribbons, the sculpture, with all those slivers, which is basically inspired by the architecture. And that's very literally the building itself. One of the buildings that got torn down was Glazer's. Glazer's said, we painted our building red. We also want to maintain our identity, and everyone recognizes, Glazer's, it's that red building. And so when the new building was constructed, it was agreed to that Glazer's was allowed to keep its red identity. I just find myself more and more impressed with every new building that gets built. Just whatever subtle details you pick up on, it communicates something to you. The way those plazas are designed and the landscape around them, those have really turned out successful. A map of South Lake Union blurring into wood grain. So the person who designed it sort of blended the two patterns of South Lake Union street map with wood grain. Here's the other thing about it. It wasn't an artist. It was an architect at that office. It turned out to be an intern or a young architect. But yeah, she designed it. A lot of times when an artist is commissioned, there's going to be a plaque. As far as I recall, I don't think there's anything there. I think it's kind of a cool thing that not many people will ever know, but people who do notice it will appreciate it. It's a husband-wife partnership. They studied as architects and decided that they were more interested in this sort of blurred discipline between architecture and art. And they are very fascinated with the line. The work is transparent, but on one side, it looks all square, and you go to the other side and you see this arch and, you know, a couple windows in it. So it's reflecting, you know, a building that used to stand there. So it's their fascination with line work, but in the form of these boxes and the mesh. But then, yeah, you get that surprise when you go around to the other side and you see the arch. When you go around to the front side, which is on 9th Avenue, it's, you know, first of all, the building is all black. And then up at the top, you see kind of like a little glass box, and it has this shed roof on it. It's basically a Tom Kundig house or cabin, but it's like it's lodged into the middle of this 20-story glass office building.
And I describe it, it's sort of this overgrown, leveraged modern image, if you will. Somebody might have drawn that surrounded by the frame of the green leaves. It's really great.
And I think they just, you know, asked the neighbor, hey, can we paint a mural on your building? And they must have said yes.
Let me say that through Amazon, there was this intense effort to insert public art throughout their properties, you know, and it's wonderful.